Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Trina, and in today's video, I am going to be picking out my TBR for Q1 of 2025. So before turning on this camera to film today, I actually picked out a bunch of titles of books that I somehow want to read when 2025 rolls around. Today is actually still in November 24th as I'm filming this, and this video is going to come up in like the middle of December. So I wanted to pick out books that I know that I won't be reading in December of 2024. So they are all in this tiny container, and you would notice that there are like long strips and then the colorful smaller strips. I'm actually using this container for two separate videos. That's why I just chuck it in there, but we're not going to be using the smaller one. You would probably have seen the video for the smaller ones in here because that video is going to come up before this one, and the video that has come up, you would see that these longer ones have disappeared. But know that in the timeline of me filming these videos, I filmed the Q1 TBR before I did that reading vlog. So anyway, today I actually wanted to use this little jar of mine in order to pick out these long strips to choose 20 books for Q1 of 2025. The titles in here are either Goodreads Choice Awards 2024 nominees. Some of them are from my TBR, like the ones that I really am interested in reading, and some of them are like the shortest books that are in my want to read shelf in Goodreads, because I wanted to start off the year sort of strong when it comes to like me choosing books and finishing them. It's always nice to start the year like in a good mood, finishing up a lot of books. Like it gives you that motivation to maybe ease into reading longer and longer books. So some of these are actually quite long because as I've said, Goodreads Choice Awards, and some from my own personal TBR that I really want to get right into. But yeah, majority of them are like 300 or less pages. So I'm not going to fold these anymore because I might mix them up with the folded colorful ones because there are like white in there. So I'm just going to like mix this up. We're going to choose 20 books actually today for the Q1 TBR, and maybe after filming this video I'm going to go straight into choosing my TBR for the month of January because I just have it all set up, and we're going to do a little bit of a game again for January TBR, which I'm super excited about. And as I'm ruffling through this, I'm hoping you just have to trust me that I'm looking up at the ceiling while I'm picking these out. And we're going to pick this one first. Oops, one came out. The first one that we have here is A House with Good Bones by T.K. Fisher. Now in this video, I'm not necessarily going to talk about all of the 20 books that we are picking out today. I'm just going to show the cover on screen, like a picture of it, just so you have an idea of what the book looks like. And I'm not going to go super in-depth into all of them because I will do that when possibly I'm going to pick them out for the month of January, and it's kind of a bit of a redundant information at that point. So we're just going to pick the 20 books today, and that's the whole plan for this video. So we're going to choose the second book, T.K. Fisher, I should say. I did read two of the books from them. One is what was the title? What Feasts at Night and What Moves the Dead. So I really enjoyed What Moves the Dead because it's like mycelium. I really love horror when it comes to like with mushrooms and such, and I enjoy T.K. Fisher's writing. And I wanted to read some other books by them. So one is A House with Good Bones, and I know that the other one in here is Nettle and Bone. If I end up choosing that or picking it out from the papers that are in here, then it means that it's meant to be. The second one is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. Very popular mystery thriller book, I guess. I wanted to pick this up during like the spooky season, I guess, but I just didn't come around to it, so it's back in the TBR, even though sometimes we may think that there are a lot of like horror and mystery thrillers in this pile that I have chosen from, because mainly mystery thriller, horror, gothic horror, psychological horror is like my main genre, and I don't need like the appropriate season to read those, so I do not mind reading a horror book like in the middle of January or February. Next we have here is actually the one that fell off earlier, Lord of the Flies by William Golding. It's a classic, and I have heard many people read this because I think it's for like reading assignments and such. And I have been in this kick of like in the past year wherein I am reading a bunch of books that were in the American, like, what do you call this, like reading assignments for class. And I haven't experienced, of course, I'm in a different country, so I don't experience like reading assignments other than Greek mythology when I took literature class. And that's like the extent of reading assignments that I have done while I was still at school. So I'm looking for like classics and like literature that has been like just read by a lot of people just because they were assigned to at school. Next we have here Artemis Fowl, Eowyn Colfer. Artemis Fowl is one of those series that I have been wanting to read but never picked it up. Like, I found a bunch of the books actually on secondhand stores, but it's always like the second or the third in the series and never the first one. So I actually have electronic copies of the whole series for Artemis Fowl, and come 2025, it's okay, I guess, to start new series in the beginning of the year, and I'm hoping that I will enjoy it. I think it's middle grade. I can't really remember what else it is about, but I know that when I was younger, I was super interested in reading it, so better late than never, I guess. Next is The Near Witch by V. Schwab. V. Schwab being I believe my favorite author of all time as of the moment. When I was younger, it is Rick Riordan, of course, Percy Jackson, and Heroes of Olympus, and then Trials of Apollo. But somehow, once I grow older, and also he still keeps on writing, and the writing evolves through the generation because he calls out pop culture, meme references, and like very modern, whatever year he writes the book in, he includes references to like pop culture and media of that year, which I appreciate. But now as I have grown older, it's kind of like, okay. So the current me actually really likes the writing of Victoria Schwab, or V. Schwab. Shade of Magic series, my favorite one. I also really love the Villains series, and also I'm okay with the Cassidy Blake because it's like the middle grade one of V. Schwab. But this one, The Near Witch, is something that I just found, and I really want to like read all of the backlist of V. Schwab and hopefully find more favorites from this author. Number 6, Ring Shout. I have no idea how to pronounce this name, but Ring Shout is one of those titles covers that are super horrific. Very short book, I believe, under, let's say, a little bit over 200 pages, I guess. And one of the books that I wanted to actually do a 24-hour reading vlog of back in October, but I just didn't find the time for it. So it's included in this one, and I'm kind of excited actually to read it and pick it out once January comes around. Number 7, lucky number 7, The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, another start to a series. So you have 2 series starting for quarter 1 TBR. I have read, what is that? The Inheritance Games. I'm blanking. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I did not actually enjoy it as much. I did manage to read it until the 3rd book, and I did not even pick up Brothers Hawthorne anymore because I just can't do it. But they say, people who love Jennifer Lynn Barnes say that The Naturals are good. The Natural series is good, so I want to try it. I really, really want to try it and see if I like it, because it's more of like supernatural. I don't know, like the main characters have powers, I guess. So we'll see. It's another start to a series, so I might end up doing like whether to continue a series or not, because I have started a bunch of series but not continued with any of them. The next one, The Ministry of Time, Kalyan Bradley. Another book that I have heard so many things about. And I think this is in the Goodreads Choice Awards for, was it sci-fi? Nominee for sci-fi and debut novel. And like heard so many things about this, about like the main character has a companion that is from another generation or timeline, or not timeline, like another time in history. And I find it like people saying that it is interesting in a way and also enjoyable, so I'm looking forward to reading that as well. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 8 on the board. We need 12 more. Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. I actually found this book from looking through reviews of the books that Books with Lala, Kayla, have read, and she had commented under, or like reviewed under this book, that is iconic, and I really want to read it. Based on the synopsis, it's a short book about like a prank gone wrong with teenagers and such, so I am wanting to like hopefully be able to get that come January, because it's short, as I've said, it's horrific, and one of my favorite booktubers rated it super high, so I would want to read that. The Island of Missing Trees, Elif Shafak, which is one of the books, like one of the books that they wrote, which is 10 minutes 38 seconds in the Strange World, is one of my 6 stars of 2024, and based on the writing style, I really enjoyed the writing style, so I would want to read more from this author, and that's why I wrote down Island of Missing Trees by them. And yeah, another one that I'm super excited to read. A lot of books that I'm excited to read come 2025, and this is like it's making me excited and motivating me to pick up books and read, because I have been feeling quite slumpy recently, actually. So looking at this lineup, I'm like super excited for 2025. Next is, we got it, Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. So I believe like these are more popular T. Kingfisher books, Nettle and Bone. So we're going to read that in 2025. Hopefully. It will depend on the January game, actually, because I might not be able to pick it out in January based on the game. So it's still a chance to get it. Next is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. I forgot. I think this is a Goodreads Choice Awards nominee. And I have not heard about this book, actually. This is super a title pick of mine, because I really enjoy like school academy or like institutions that involves like lying games and outsmarting your enemies or your colleagues and such. I really enjoy reading Liar's Game. I remember loving that. I also enjoy Classroom of the Elite. I also like, what is that title of that anime? It's basically all anime that involves like lying. A Tomodachi Game. So it's basically games about lying and outsmarting your companions, even though you know that you need them. It's like very manipulative, but also like psychological horror, basically. So I did not read the synopsis for this, but since it's a Goodreads Choice Awards nominee, I am trusting that it might be a good one. So I'm putting it on the list. So we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 8 more. Perfume by Patrick Suskind. I think this is a classic. It's, I believe, horror. Not sure. But I think this was recommended to me by a friend of mine that also likes like horror, psychological horror books. So yeah, that's as much as I can tell as of the moment, because I think I forgot if I actually read the synopsis or not. So what number is this? 14? Oh, very long. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I have heard so much about this book. I am so curious of what this book is about. I sometimes do not read synopsis anymore if a lot of people like the book because I want to be surprised. But most of the time, I'm like thrown off because I don't know what the book is about. But I'm just going with the flow and going to enjoy it, take it at face value, and then see if like at least my standard for it is like I could take anything and just not expect too high, and maybe I'll end up enjoying it more. Next one is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman by Thursday's Murder Club, I guess. I have not read Thursday Murders Club. Yeah, I haven't read that book yet, but this is like the first in the series, and I don't know if this is different or the same or whatever. I will have to do more research for it, but this is also a Goodreads Choice Award nominee, so I wrote it there. I need to count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 5 more. 5 more. Number 16. We have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Now, this one is more of like, I believe, cozy fantasy, and this blew up actually in like, I have Fable now, and the app Fable, and when I added friends there and like people to follow, they all somehow read Spell Shop at the same time, like when it got out. And then there are a lot of book clubs that have this as their book club pick for October or November, and I'm like, okay, it might be good, so I'm going to read that. It's, as I've said, it's not in season because cozy fantasy is more like, you think of it as September, October, or November. Then like, it's not in the season, but I am still interested in reading it. Number 17, almost there. Here we are. Middle of the Night, Riley Sager. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with like the books that are written by Riley Sager, because at first, coming back to reading, I did read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I liked it, and then suddenly, as I read it again, it's like, no, I did not necessarily read it again, but it marinated in my brain, and I didn't really like it as much as I thought. And then when I read another book, what was that? I will put the picture of the book, but it has a pattern, so I don't know if this will have that similar pattern. Like the writing pattern is super predictable as of that point when I read the second book by them. So we'll see how it goes with the Middle of the Night book, because this is the latest one that they wrote. 18. We have The Collector by John Fowles. I think this is a serial killer story. Now I think about it, maybe The Collector and Perfume are like serial killer stories. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'll do more research on it. But I think it's like that sort of book. No more information other than that. 19, 2 more. Number 19, we have Society of Lies by Lauren Ling Brown. Another like lies related story. Nothing more. No more information about that. But it's fine. We're going to deal with that if we end up picking it for the month of January. And the last one is Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. This is more of like, she woke up at a hospital and she doesn't know who the person she is with. Something. That's like as far as the synopsis I have read through for Fever Dream. It's also a short book, and I'm just very interested in short books as of the moment. So this is our lineup. These are 20 books for quarter one. Hopefully, my goal, I will check in once like the end of quarter one happens. But my goal is to read 15 of the 20. Let's hope and pray that I'm able to do that, because even though I have this quarter one TBR listed out, I will still have other books that I would like to read, especially the ones that are being carried over from 2024 that I have not finished yet. like series that I have not finished yet. I might put them in on January. Some books that like come up and I find interest in and just wanted to read. Some rereads that might happen. So it's very variable, and I'm not really holding myself to it to the letter, but I'm putting it as a goal for Q1 of 2025 to finish 15 out of the 20 books. Let's just hope that it comes to that. And I actually want to show what other books that we could have picked out, because I actually forgot what else I put in here. There's a lot, actually. I did not expect it to be this much. I thought I would written like 20 something, but it turns out there's more. So the other books that we could have gotten, Dark Harvest by Norman Partridge. This is like a serial killer that happened every October, something like that. Best Friend's Exorcism, Grady Hendrix. This is one of the books that I found recommended by another of my favorite booktubers, Books with Emily Fox. The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. I think this is from a recommendation as well from Books with Lala. Tainted Cup, also from Books with Emily Fox. They say that it's good, and I tend to like add to my TBR every time I watch their videos, and they say that, oh, this book is good, 4 or 5 star, I add it to my TBR. And that's how I collect a lot of books in my TBR. I believe my TBR, or like want to read shelf as of the moment in Goodreads, is around 399 books, which is not a lot compared to other people, I believe, but I really need to purge some of them because I don't find it interesting anymore, and so I need to purge and see what I really want to read. My Throat an Open Grave, Indian Burial Ground, Home is Where the Bodies Are. This is supposed to be one that I am also looking forward to read. The Woods All Black, also a short one, but also like kind of interesting cover. Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. So many Grady Hendrix. I think I should just keep these pieces of paper and do it for Q2 again. Earth Eater, Dolores Reyes. Earth Eater is about, I find it very interesting actually for the synopsis. Earth Eater is about like a woman who has a compulsion to eat the earth, and somehow she could tell like what happened on that place where she ate the dirt, I guess, from. Like if a murder happened there, she will know the story, like who stepped on that piece of dirt or something. Next is Sister Maiden Monster, Lucy A. Snyder. This is more of like a what do you call this? A title pick, because it's quite interesting. The Final Empire, Brandon Sanderson. I started Final Empire but did not continue with it past chapter 3. I wasn't in the mood yet. The Bad Ones. This is also like a cover pick for me because it has like a weeping angel. Penance by Kanai Minato. Kanai Minato wrote no, I'm sorry. What is that? Confessions. Why did I think of Detention? Never mind. Confessions, Kanai Minato, and it's one of my favorite books of 2024 as well. So I wanted to read more from her. Thousand Floor, Catherine McGee. This is quite an interesting looking cover as well, so it's a cover pick. Hunting Murders, also one, but it's kind of boring writing wise, but I really am interested in reading the whole series one of these days. All the Colors of the Dark is also like a short horror book. Deathly Education, and then The Traders. These are just like some from my to read TBR, want to read list or shelf from Goodreads that did not make it to the cut of our 20 that are here. And so that is it for this video. I'm going to write these down on the page after the fact. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed. Do tell me down in the comments if there are books in here that you have already read and loved or did not like. We can discuss that if you want. And which of these are also in your TBR or you are excited for me to read and react to by 2025. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much again for hanging out, and I will see you in my next video. So until then, guys, take care and bye.